Hello and welcome back to Sunrider Liberation Day Return. Very well, Captain. I roughly understand the situation. Shield sighed in relief. I'm very glad you believe me. Honestly, if our positions had been reversed, Indeed, your final order to detain the ship's engineer appears quite difficult to carry out, as my current superior officer has flatly denied my request that she be detained. That would be you. If I go to him now and repeat the same demand, I doubt the outcome will be any different. And of course, if I unilaterally detained her, I imagine the fallout will be quite grave. As circumstances currently are, you may strip me of my rank for insubordination. Ava certainly did have a point. As long as the highest ranked officer aboard the ship protected Chigara, there wasn't anything the XO could do about it. Shield pulled his hair in frustration at his own past stealth stubbornness. For a moment he was overcome with the desire to march up to his office and smack some sense into his other self. First, I will head to Deck 0 and confirm whether there truly is another Kyoto Shields in your office right now. You will escort me there and stand outside in the hallway while I speak to him inside. Once I have verified that there are indeed 2 copies of you in this universe, I will make what preparations I can to stop the prototype's plot. Alright. Sounds like a plan. For once, Shield's heart swelled at having such an effective executive officer. He should have appreciated the work she did for him. And upon looking back at how he had treated her, his heart ached with regret. She had been right all this time about Chigara, but he opposed her at every turn, even dredged of his past relationship with her as an excuse to defend Chigara. He had to apologize. Only with the benefit of hindsight did he know how wrong he was. The 2 of them entered the lift and headed up to Deck 0. Shield stood outside his office while Ava spoke with the other Shields inside. And after a brief moment, she emerged, her face grave. A part of me suspected this was merely some elaborate prank, but I see that you are the real deal, Kyoto Shields. I imagine you will not tell me just how you managed to travel back in time. I'm afraid not. You, wouldn't want to know anyways. Very well. Perhaps I am better off in the dark with regards to such dangerous matters. But I believe you are telling the truth. There can be no other explanation as to why you would suddenly change from your position onto the chief engineer, aside from the fact you are indeed from the future. And I do not believe you are in some body double impersonating the Kyoto Shields I know either. But the situation is no better, as I am utterly incapable of convincing the current captain of this ship to change his mind. About that, Ava. I'm not sure how much it means to you, given the circumstances, but I'm sorry for how I treated you in the office right now, and well, before that too, when you tried to convince me to detain Chigara. Captain, it hardly makes sense to apologize for the actions of another individual you have no control over, regardless of the fact that he is your identical clone. No, the guy is still me, and I feel ashamed to even look at him. He lost too much and just wants to keep hearing that he'll come back to Sarah with a new family. I shouldn't have treated you so poorly. I hurt you. I still can't believe some of the things I said. I was emotional. I should never have accused you of being jealous or anything stupid like that. You'll always be a lot more than just my executive officer, Ava. I can't put into words how much I regret saying anything else. Captain, while I appreciate your honesty in admitting you were wrong about the chief engineer, I believe that there is a time and a place for anything further, and that moment is not now. We appear to be in the midst of a conspiracy to murder the top Alliance military brass. First, we must unravel this plot before deciding upon anything else. Spoken exactly like Ava. Alright. But after this is over, then I guess we will talk. Suddenly the klaxon sounded, interrupting Shield's movement. Red alert! The packed fleet has made its move! Shit! Now of all times? Shield sprang to action. His past self was going to come running out the door any moment now. He had to hide. We'll be in touch! Ran down the hallway and vanished. As soon as he turned around the corner, Claude joined him. So, how'd it go? She believes me, but my other self's not going to be letting Ava detain Chigara anytime soon. So she didn't try to toss you in the brig? No. We're too close to ever doubt each other again. Shield's recollection was coming back. It was about this time when the packed fleet advanced, choosing to launch a frontal attack using their riders to decimate the Alliance's shield cruisers, so that their battleships could whittle down the Alliance fleet from a distance using laser attacks. Everything was happening exactly the same as before. Well, we can't let the crew see you here. Claude opened a maintenance tunnel and crawled inside. In here, hurry! Ugh. Despite knowing that another Kato Shields was no doubt rushing to the bridge right now, he couldn't help but feel like a pathetic coward, crawling inside a maintenance tunnel to hide from the battle. No, my place was on the bridge. I had to protect everyone. Finally, his better senses reined in his emotions. No, he just had to leave that up to Ava and the rest of the crew. He wasn't going to protect anyone by marching onto that bridge right now. Shield swallowed his pride and crawled inside the maintenance shaft. Claude shut the gate, swallowing the two of them in darkness. All Shields could hear was the pounding of his heart. Sweat dripped down his eyebrows, tickling his nose, filling his mouth with the taste of sulphur. And in a surreal moment, he heard his own voice over the intercom. All hands, prepare for anti-rider combat! Shortly afterwards, the dull drumbeat of Sunrider's flak guns echoed throughout the tunnel. The hull creaked as shrapnel from intercepted missiles harmlessly bounced off the ship's armour. Every passing moment felt like torture. Shields had grown so accustomed to being in command that the idea of being helpless, trapped inside a hole, churned his stomach. He closed his eyes and prayed that Ava would be safe. But what would the Kato Shields on the floor of the bridge do right now? Do you even care for her as he did? Suddenly, Ava's shrill voice on the intercom broke his thoughts. All hands, brace for impact! Shields did his best to grip the walls of the tunnel, but was still thrown completely to the flat on his face as the massive shockwave. The tunnel bent and fuses burst, covering them with sparks. He knew the sensation. A hit that size could only mean that a packed battleship's quantum torpedo had gotten past their flak net and scored a direct hit. God damn it, what the hell was that buffoon on the bridge doing? He wiped the blood from his lips and pulled himself up. Smoke seeped in from the gate, meaning the hallway outside was now on fire. Shields cautiously opened the gate by a sliver and peeked out, only to come face to face with a raging inferno. Crewmen pulled flame retardant hoses from the walls and struggled to put out the fire. And Shields spotted a technician lying on the floor nearby, his uniform matted with blood. The fire approached him, threatening to swallow him whole. I jump now. I can still save him. You have to do something, but that would mean blowing my cover. Ooh, difficult decision. Potentially screw over the entire universe, but at the same time, No, I have always believed in doing the right thing. I'm still the captain of this ship. I can't hide like a coward in a hole. My crewmen are risking their lives out there. With that, Shields pushed the gate open and left the tunnel. Captain, where are you? I'm not going to let a member of this ship's crew die. Captain! Ignoring Claude's protest, Shields pulled a hose from the wall and battled the flames which were fast approaching the wounded technician. When Shields finally reached him and knelt down, checked his vitals. Still alive. Good. Shields hoisted the technician up and carried him towards the other crew. Captain? The deckhand's eyes widened in shock as the captain of the ship emerged from the flames and passed him an unconscious crewman. Make sure he gets to sickbay. That's an order, sailor. The deckhand's train took control and he snapped to attention. Sir! Shields gritted his teeth. He had to lead the damage control operations here. Without warning, the ship shook again. This time he heard the sound of mechanical sawing, as if something was cutting through the hull of the ship. What the... Suddenly the ceiling gave way and a hunter drone dropped down, spraying the hall with bullets. Shields barely had time to take cover behind some debris, as two crewmen were cut down by the bullets before his very eyes. Hunter drones? The hell? The arrival of the hunter drone triggered another memory. No, he couldn't afford to get distracted here. He'd received some instruction about invasion drones during his training, but he had figured they saw limited practical applications after never encountering one in the field. Indeed, this was the first time we'd ever seen them deployed during ship-to-ship operations. Shit, this just makes life that much more complicated. If I don't do something here, then that drone's going to massacre everyone on this deck, but right now I'm totally unarmed. Shields looked around and saw a pistol lying beside a fallen crewman. It would take far more than that to take down a mechanicalized hunter drone, but it was something. Grab the pistol and fall the hell back. No matter how he considered this tactical scenario, a group of crewmen and a captain armed with nothing but pistols were no match for a mechanical hunter drone. They had to perform a tactical retreat. Shields shouted orders to the other crewmen. "Everyone fall back! Find cover or that drone will tear you apart!" "Sir!" Shields and the repair crew quickly fell back, coming to an airlock gate. This should hold the drone back. Once everyone ran through the gate, Shields pounded the close button, dropping an 8-inch thick wall of steel between themselves and the drone. Everyone dropped to their knees in relief. Shields took the opportunity to survey the situation. "Any of you have any heavy weapons?" "No, sir. Fire control, crew C reporting for duty. All we have are sidearms." "Alright, the closest armor is 300 meters from here. Come on, let's go!" Just as Shields spoke those words, an ear-shattering explosion shook the airlock. The steel gate dented inwards as if it had just been pounded by a titan. The drone was still armed with an anti-armor cannon. That gate wasn't going to hold it forever. "Come on, everyone! Move, move, move!" The crewmen and Shields ran as fast as their feet would carry them away from the gate, but it was too late. With another chest-bursting explosion, the reinforced steel gate burst behind them in a massive fireball. "Duck and cover!" Shields slammed a young repairman who looked fresh out of school against the wall just as the drone sprayed the hole with lead. He looked around. Was this their end? If only they had a grenade or something. "Captain!" Suddenly, he saw Claude running down the hall with an enormous bazooka over her shoulder. "That's the way!" Shields peppered the drone with small arms fire, drawing its attention away from Claude. Claude knelt down to one knee to stabilize the bazooka and took aim. "They don't call me boob rockets for nothing!" The rocket shot out from the front of the bazooka, and the recoil knocked Claude flat to her back and missed the drone spectacularly, digging a massive cavity into the ceiling of the hallway. Shields hissed through his teeth. You idiot! Ah. Just then, a massive steel beam fell from the ceiling thanks to the force of the rocket's explosion and pinned the drone down. Ah. Shields took the opening to roll to where Claude was lying on the floor and picked up the bazooka. He took aim and scored a direct hit on the drone's control tower. With a satisfying explosion, the drone's brain burst, spewing fire and steel in every direction. The husk of the now-dead mechanical beast finally lost power and went limp. Yes, I suspect, at least partially because this is free DLC, there's not going to be many in the way of CGs, which is a pity, because let's be honest, I think we would all have appreciated a ridiculous CG of Claude holding a massive bazooka. And no, I'm not talking about her boobs. But now, as I fully understand the reasons why, but that's not going to stop me commenting on things I would have liked to see. Fair enough? I always maintain it's a fair comment to say, I understand you had these limitations, but here's what I would have liked if it were possible. The other crewmen poked their heads out from cover in disbelief. Slowly their expressions turned from white terror to exhilaration. "Captain! You did it! You saved us all!" "Captain! Captain! Captain!" Ah, he went to the Kirk School of Captaining then. Load of other people get killed. He gets all the credit for being awesome. Shields suddenly realised that the crewman chanting his name in the hallway may not be in his best interest. "Anyways, what are you doing here with Fire Crew C?" Looks around, now searching for the best way to beat a hasty exit. I have to get back to the bridge. "Good work, Fire Crew C." "Did you hear that? The captain said we did good work." "Course he did, kid. We risk our necks every day to keep this ship safe." "I'm going to tell everyone in the mess all about this." Shields and Claude beat it while the crewmen laughed among themselves. He looked back. Despite blowing his cover, he smiled in spite of himself. He had no regrets. T-minus 53 hours before the Liberation Day massacre, and 17 hours until Chikara enters the mine stream. Gah! Shields had had enough of this nightmarish situation. It's Claude trying to hook up with him again, isn't it? He stood and emerged from the cargo crate, taking a huge breath of fresh air. He had just spent the past 6 hours cooped up inside a small cargo crate with Claude. The ship had shook and jostled as it engaged in invasive manoeuvres and took hits, until he felt as if he was going to suffocate against Claude's voluminous body. For what seemed like an eternity, he suffered indignity after indignity, where Claude seemed to thoroughly enjoy every moment of his suffering. Feeling thoroughly violated, he stepped out into the outside world, feeling like a man re-emerging into society after a long prison sentence. The ship had now returned to condition yellow, and for now it appeared the battle had concluded. After checking that the situation was indeed clear, he pulled Claude from the crate. Come on, the coast is clear. We need to regroup with Ava, let's go. The two of them made their way to the bridge. Crap, better tread carefully. The other Kato shields is still in the bridge. All hell's gonna break loose when I wander in. Claude, poke your head into the bridge, tell me if my other self is inside. Alright. Claude leaned into the bridge and looked around. Sure enough, he saw Ava occupied while speaking with the other shields. No go, Captain. The commander's busy talking with your other version. Damn. Shields pondered his options. Ava would have foreseen something like this happening. Maybe she left us a clue somewhere else. Come on, I have an idea where to search next. Shields led Claude back up to Deck 0. Shields stopped in front of the executive officer's quarters and swiped his commander's ID on the door's reader, and to his relief the gate opened. Good. Looks like Ava prepared ahead of time. He snuck in and found a note on the opposite side of the door. Pursuing possible lead. We'll rendezvous later. Godspeed. Ava, you forgot to tell me what this lead was! Oh, this does not help much. He stepped back outside and spoke to Claude. Looks like Ava's onto something, but doesn't quite know what it is yet. We'll have to proceed without her, for now. You know, I don't know about that woman, Captain. Shields ignored Claude's doubts. If I recall correctly, Chigara's in the sickbay right now. The Liberty suffered a direct hit to its shoulder maneuvering valve during the battle in my timeline. History is still playing out the same way as it did before, then the other Kyoto shields would have to have admitted her to sickbay just to be on the safe side, despite Chigara not sustaining any major injuries. Now's the best chance we'll have of capturing her. We just go to sickbay right now and take her. Actually there's another problem. There's also currently another Claude Trileo in sickbay right now, tending to Chigara as we speak. What? Oh, isn't it obvious? My old self exists in this timeline as well. Piloting the Bianca, serving as the ship's loony doctor. She wouldn't just disappear because I was warped here. Shields rubbed his head. So there's another wrinkle in this plan. Well, look, your past self's a time traveller too, right? Why didn't you just walk up to her and explain the situation? Sorry, Captain, there's reasons why I can't do that. Might be related to the fabric of the universe tearing right in half. In fact, I think it'd be best if I remained out of sight of my past self for the duration of my stay here. For all our sakes. Oh god, what the hell is it called getting at here? Captain, aren't you also forgetting about something else? If we remove Chigara from the battle tomorrow, then we might not even be alive for the victory celebrations. Claude's right. If we prevent Chigara from entering the Mind Stream to restore control of Fontana's ships tomorrow, we'll be effectively signing our own death warrants when we're all slaughtered by the very packed ships which were supposed to reinforce us. Unless... if we somehow were able to send an encrypted transmission to Fontana now, warning him of the Trojan, then he could potentially start devising a countermeasure right now. At the very least, he could pull his forces back so the prototypes can't use his ships against us. There's an encrypted FTL communicator in my office. I could use that. One more thing. If Chigara just vanishes from the sickbay, it's only a matter of time until someone realizes what's happened. If the other Kato shields hears that his love just up and vanished, he's going to launch a ship-wide search for her. Oh god, that is not a good plan. Might I suggest we... Because let's face it, we need Chigara up and around and doing stuff, possibly. And there's no way that she is going to agree to help us. I wouldn't have thought. I'll give it props for giving me interesting choices. Don't think I trust Lynn. But it... oh god. I'm genuinely not certain what our best option here is. Because the thing is, it's firmly implied that it is not Chigara's fault what happens. You know, she gets mind controlled as a result of going into the... whatever the hell it is, the mind stream. So... Alright. Alright. We risk it. We can put Lynn under, and then swap her with Chigara in the sickbay. Unless someone were to take a really close look, nobody would be able to tell the difference until Lynn wakes up. Understood, Captain. Okay, so here's the plan. You go down to the brig, pretend you're this timeline's doctor, convince the guard that Lynn has contracted a nasty case of sarin measles and needs immediate medical attention. Then cart a sedated Lynn to deck 0, handcuffed to a medical trolley. Meanwhile, I'll go to sickbay and distract your other self. I'm sure that'll be a piece of cake. While I'm doing that, you sneak into the sickbay, swap Chigara with Lynn. Once you grab Chigara, fall back to crew quarter 8, which is currently unoccupied. Secure Chigara there, wait for me to arrive. I'll try to beat a hasty retreat as soon as I can, and once we've regrouped, you'll run to the mess hall, contact the other Kyoto shields. Distract him while I sneak to my office, contact Fontana on the FTL comm, then we'll regroup back at crew quarter 8, relocate Chigara to maintenance room D4. Do you get all that? Understood, Captain. Alright, good luck. Claude crashed into the brig with a medical trolley, startling the guards. We've got a medical emergency! What? Is something the matter, Doctor? Looks like our prototype prisoner's contracted a severe case of the sarin measles. We've got to get her to sickbay on the double, before she becomes contagious. We weren't informed of... Oh, looky here, this is an emergency. Do you think we have time to file the paperwork for that? Claude loomed over the security guard. Do you even know what catching sarin measles is like, Sergeant? First you suddenly lose bowel control, and you're experiencing the most uncontrollable diarrhea of your life for 3 days, but that's not even the worst of it. From the 3rd day on, the hives will break out all over your body. Pus and blood will leak everywhere, and if left untreated you'll suffer permanent muscle damage and, well, ultimately death. Oh shit, the doctor's right. My niece nearly died 4 years ago of the same thing. Oh, that's some nasty ass shit. You sure you want to keep the prototype here, Sarge? Alright, you made your point, Doctor. Get her quarantined into sickbay. Roger! Claude approached Lynn in her cell. Looks like you'll be coming with me. I'm afraid you've contracted a very, very serious virus. What? I don't feel... That's what they all say. In a few hours you'll be painting the walls with your ass. You'll be thanking me for this later. I'll just sedate you a bit. What? Fool, I didn't... Claude pushed a few buttons on the cell's controls, releasing sleep gas into the cell. Lynn's eyes lost focus as she dropped to the floor unconscious. That is one of the best security measures I have ever heard of. Well done. I was expecting her to go in with a giant comedy needle or something like that. Oh, what was the character name? What was the character name from Hyperdimension Neptunia? Compa, that was it. The one with the giant needle. I was expecting her to go in with a syringe of that sort of size. The brig security secured Lynn on top of a medical trolley, handcuffing her to the railing, and Claude carted her out with a smile. Nobody asks any questions when explosive diarrhea is involved. 52 hours before the massacre. 16 hours until Chigara enters the mind stream. Shields entered the sickbay. He had to distract this timeline's Claude long enough for his partner to nab Chigara out from under her nose. He grimaced to discover that Chigara was sleeping just 2 beds away from where Claude was working in her office. This was going to be harder than expected, but he had an idea. He pretended to walk over to Chigara and stand over her, like he was concerned for her health. As expected, old Claude sniffed out his presence like a canine and creeped up behind him. Oh. She wrapped her arms around him from behind and put her face on his shoulder, tickling his ear with her pink wavy hair. Let's be honest, if a male character behaved the way to female characters that Claude behaves towards, well, Kato, it would be really uncomfortable. But you know what, I actually do genuinely like Claude as a character. Anyway. Oh, God, this woman wears too much perfume. Oh, Captain, I'm afraid Chigara is still sedated. You'll just have to wait a few more hours until she wakes up. I can understand why you want her back on your feet as soon as possible. The desperate look on the maiden's face as she sneaks... Desperate look on the maiden's face as she sneaks into your quarters at the loneliest hours of the night for one last tryst before the final battle. Chigara doesn't know if she'll make it back. Just in case, I want to feel the captain inside before... I can imagine it playing out like I'm watching a movie. Okay, here's my chance. Shield slumped down as if dejected, let out a long sigh. I don't know, Doctor. Huh? Don't know what? Well... Look, I'm actually here for counselling. You're ship's acting medical officer, right? Your duties include looking after the mental health of the ship's crew as well as their physical health? Well, yes, that's certainly true. I've been wanting to talk to you, Doctor. It's about Chigara, but... Look, I can't talk about it here in front of her. Oh, of course. Let me just get into my office and pull the cover closed. You can tell old Claude anything, Captain. Claude practically pushed Shields into her office and drew a sliding wall closed, giving them both privacy. Yes! It worked! Now, what's the nature of the counselling you need, Captain? Well, it's just that things are moving so quickly. It's been just over a week since we kissed for the first time, and she's already talking about things like marriage and children. Whenever she talks about how many babies she wants to have, I have to wonder, is that the life I want for myself? Look, I'm ashamed to even look at myself in the mirror, Doctor. I can't believe I'm having these doubts right now. Oh, Captain, you don't worry about a thing. It's completely normal to have unexpressed doubts when your partner advances a relationship too quickly. In fact, it's only inevitable, because of the enormous amount of stress you two are under right now. All she cares about is her bakery. I don't even know if I'm good at baking bread. I'm a starship captain, for crying out loud, Doc. I worked my ass off for this commission, but to just up and retire early for a bakery? But whenever she talks about that ratty bakery, she has that dreamy look on her face, and I end up going along with it every time. Where's my input, Doc? Lately I feel like I'm being railroaded down a certain path without any saying what I want. It's like all my choices have just up and vanished. Nice meta joke, guys. That is a very nice meta joke about the fact that everybody felt very railroaded by Liberation Day. Look, before this, I used to be a free man. I used to be able to make command decisions. I used to be able to rip up rule books. Right now, I feel like I've been chained to the doghouse. Oh dear. Oh dear. After the battle, why don't you try talking to her about this, Captain? The root of your problems with Chigara is most likely the stress of the coming battle. Because you're both instinctively afraid of what may happen, Chigara may be rushing ahead of things she normally would be comfortable with as well. Alright, Doc, I'll try that. Claude leaned in with a gentle smile and rubbed Shields' back. You have a lot on your shoulders, Captain. But don't forget, if things don't work out with Chigara, there's always a lovely doctor in your sickbay willing to alleviate your worries. Casually hitting on your mentally distressed patient, Doc. You are the worst. Anyways, that should have been enough time for the distraction. I better beat a hasty exit out of here. Just as Shields was about to call it quits, he spotted a strange-looking holo next to him on Claude's shelf. All the holos on the board ship were now standard issue Alliance stock, but this holo was clearly of a different make. Now what do we have here? For some reason, I have a feeling there's something important on that holo. Maybe it's related to the memories I've temporarily lost. Or do I risk blowing my cover by trying to steal it? Ooh, good question, because yes, we know there was something important in it, but we still don't know what the hell it was. So let's try and nick... Actually, well, you know what? This is a good point to end this part, I think. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and we'll decide what we're going to do at the beginning of the next one.